Hey guys, Simon here, and welcome to week 9 of my series Road to a Master's Degree, where you can follow me along on my journey to getting a master's degree. So I'm kind of filming this intro in the middle of the week, but so far the week has been going very well. I had a presentation in my class today. I got an A on it. Kind of wish it was a higher A, but I'll be happy with the A. Also turned in another assignment, got an A. And then for one of my classes, I guess we're not doing any more discussion posts, and the rest of the semester is just focused on writing our final paper. And then earlier this week, we also had another one of the sessions where they teach us stuff about grad school that we wouldn't learn in class. This time it was about portfolio versus thesis, so I will talk later on about that, since that is a huge part of grad school. I personally don't know if I'm doing a thesis or a portfolio yet. There's different aspects and requirements for both, so I will talk about that in detail later. But yeah, so come follow me along for week 9, and I hope you guys enjoy. Okay, so real quick, I just wanted to go over the difference between a thesis and a portfolio, because you need to do one or the other to graduate with your master's degree. And since we had a session on it earlier this week, I just wanted to kind of read off what I learned from it, and I took notes while I was there. So I want to share with you guys just in case you're thinking about going into your master's degree, so you kind of have a sense of like which one you want to do more. I'm still undecided, but I'm also still kind of picking my topic for it, and I have till next year pretty much until I really have to make a decision, but I'm trying to make it now. But basically, starting with thesis. So a thesis is supposed to be 3 chapters and about 90 pages long that you would be writing, and it doesn't need to be as polished. And thesis is also more independent work. Because for like portfolio, and I'm going to go over this too, but for portfolio, you need to take a class, and in that class you like workshop and work together, and you get other people's opinions on like your writing and everything like that. Thesis, it's really just you. I think, yeah, for a thesis you also have one advisor, and then also a committee member. I'm still kind of slightly confused on like who specifically you can choose. I know for some of the positions you could pick a professor that has tenure, so like someone who it would be harder to fire from the school, or someone who's just a professor, or someone outside of the English department. I'm still kind of figuring out like who's supposed to go where for that, but again, I have some time before I have to do that, but it's still nice to think about now, so you're not like making decisions next year. And then it also says more exploratory scope. So that one, I think from what I remember of the session, I think they said with that one you just get to explore more topics. I know one girl did one on mermaids, and it's like you get to pick whatever topic you want, whether it's from a class or not. However, I know a lot of the classes, I think in some way need to contribute to what you're writing. There's a mermaid class here at San Diego State, like for someone who wants to write their thesis about mermaids. There wasn't one when the girl who wrote that was here. So I think she said she just kind of like always loved mermaids, and so she decided to write on that and maybe use like parts of her classes that were relevant to help her. But there was no like mermaid based class where she could be like, oh yeah, I took this class, so it made me want to write my thesis. Now moving on to portfolio. So a portfolio is an essay that is 20 to 25 pages long, and typically it's an essay you did in class that you're just going to be revising pretty much and getting different opinions on. And that one's more polished, so that one is more, a thesis is more if you want to write a book. That's why it's like 3 chapters is kind of the beginning of the book. The portfolio is more if you want to publish, for sure publish a scholarly article or journal at some point. So that's kind of what they're preparing you for. And it's more scholarly focus. So you need to use scholarly context and contemporary context. I think, don't quote me on this, but I think the furthest you can use is like scholarly articles within the last 10 years. So this year to 2013, I think. I'm not 100% sure. There's also a workshop class you have to take if you're doing a portfolio. Again, you just kind of give, like, you read other people's papers, you comment on them, and then they comment on yours. I think that would be good if you're not good with working by yourself, or you like hearing other people's opinions, or you like constructive criticism, or just if you want to be held accountable. That's also why I'm kind of iffy about which one I'm picking, because I'm like, I like working by myself, but I also think it would be more beneficial to do portfolios, so I'm not sure. But yeah, and then, so that one you have to pick members from your class, the workshop class, the instructor or an instructor, and then a faculty member or advisor, all to be on your team for the portfolio. And these are people who are just gonna like read your work and then tell you like what you can fix on it. And then for a portfolio, you also have to do an oral defense. So you have to get up and argue why, pretty much just argue for your topic. I know for PhD, at least I've seen one person, for PhD, she had to like get up and argue, do an oral defense too for hers. I'm not gonna say her topic, because that's hers, but yeah, she had to get up in front of a room of people, and then she just had to like explain her paper. And I don't think you have to come prepared with any like slides or anything. You just get up, argue for your paper, you listen to the feedback, and then if they accept it, but you still have to make some revisions, I think you have about a week to do that, and then you turn it in, and then you're good to graduate. And then if you don't pass, which I think is very rare, that's what I was told, you have to fix it, and then you would have to graduate in the summer. So regardless of whichever one you pick, it also has to be approved, and then once it's approved, you get to graduate. And then you most likely would have to make revisions anyway, because it's like you're having so many different eyes see your paper. So it's like there's going to be comments on there that you're going to have to like fix something, but it's constructive criticism just to help you get better. I also wrote down a note that says you can't have a lecturer as your advisor, but they can be on your committee. I guess I'm still kind of confused with like those positions. But yeah, that's like the major the major differences between thesis and portfolio. So thesis is a bit longer but more independent, and for both you get to choose like whatever topic you want to write on. However, portfolio, it's more group work, workshopping, and then you also have to do an oral defense, and that one's about 20 to 25 pages from an essay. From an essay you've already written in class, you're just revising over and adding to it. So yeah, I hope this is helpful. Again, the more I learn about stuff, the more I will try to share with you guys, because I had a lot of questions like this before I applied, and I still have questions now. But yeah, and then I know next week for our session, we're learning about kind of post-grad options. So like if you want to go to PhD or teaching or writing, because those are typically the careers people go into when they major in English, but you can always choose something different. So when I learn about that too next week, I will share that with you as well. But I hope this was helpful. And I hope I broke it down enough, because I'm still learning about it myself. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed week 9 of Road to My Master's Degree.